Swing and a drive, left field, get up, ball, get out of here, and gone.
So the quote-unquote deadline has passed. We don't have a Vlad, or we have a Vlad. I want to get this out of the way real quick.
He's not
It's
gone.
not like Vlad's gone.
He's not gone.
Let's clarify that now. Vlad is still with us for now. And yeah, Vlad did not sign an extension. The Jays didn't get to where he wanted. He didn't come down to where the Jays wanted. So here we are. No extension for Vlad. We're going into the season with a rental Vladdy, essentially. There's a lot to unpack. I'm not going to lie. First of all, welcome back to the Flight Deck podcast. Does anybody want to start?
There's so many ways to look at this. Because apparently they were talking like 10:30 the night before. They were just something happened. Like it's
a lot.
Here's my outlook on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck if Vlad signs. I don't give a fuck if Bo signs.
Mm-hmm.
I want this team to win.
Yeah.
Neither of them are my favorite player. The Jays don't have any of my favorite players. At this point, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I want the team to win. I like Vladdy. I like Bo.
Mm-hmm.
I would like them to be here long term. But if it makes more sense to this front office to not sign them and use that money elsewhere, and they're going to use that, and if they use that money elsewhere and we win, I don't give a fuck.
The whole it's just
my thing is, I think you make this a lot more difficult without Vlad.
Oh, for sure. Like this, we're not gonna.
But if they can make it work, then I don't really care whatsoever. I just want this team to win.
There's so many things I'm not gonna say conflicting, but conflating things. Vladdy first off coming out and saying no, we weren't close at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the number? Atkins was like, how do you define close? Like, geez, shut up for us. Like they went over their valuation for Vlad. It's like, brother, we figured you fucking would because your evaluation was probably like $300 million. And Passan was on Blair and Barker, I think yesterday or today, and he doesn't know that no one knows the specifics, but all he said was like, Vladdy turned down a lot of money, and Juan Soto changed that because Juan Soto would change that. And it's just,
I think based on what Atkins said and based on what Vladdy said, the way I interpret that is, I heard a rumor Vladdy was looking for 45 times 12 or 13. Did you guys see that on Twitter?
There was the Big Poppy thing where he was like, Vlad was like 13,585.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
which comes out to 45. My thing is, if he's saying they're not close and Atkins is saying define close, I wonder if they were 8 years or 10 years at 45.
Could have been the years.
We'll give you the AAV, but I think it's the years they're off on.
I got a lot of points I kind of want to get through. I want to try and do it without being the only one to talk for an hour and a half.
Yes.
First and foremost, $45 million is a lot of money
for a first baseman.
Not that I don't think Vlad deserves it when he's at his best, because I don't know if fucking Alex Bregman can get 40, Vlad can get 45. I think
that's also deferred. I think it's present day value is 30.
It's like 30.
But yes.
Sure, but it's still 45 a year if you were putting it in the same contract. It's still a lot of money. And I kind of see where they're coming from.
The other thing on Bregman, it was 3 years versus
with
12, 13.
With opt-outs at every year.
Yeah.
But we're talking about paying for a guy's peak value, realistically. Vlad's 26.
It's going to be 26 by the time
he's 6 years old.
Yeah.
I see why they didn't give it to him because it is a lot and it's tough to value that. But he is the face of this franchise, and there is no superstars coming up in the next 4 or 5 years. If you're thinking you're going to spend that money elsewhere and you're going to go get someone even close to Vlad's caliber, it's not going to happen. So you're hoping you can find something internally. Who?
Tucker, next offseason.
Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Tucker, you could
if their pivot is Tucker, who's a lefty, who is, I believe, at least average to above average defensively, who can run.
And
if that's your pivot, okay.
He's also 2 years older.
Sure,
Not
but
that
like
that matters a ton, but
I don't think it does. I think he's you could argue he's more proven than Vlad. Like Vlad's top
Kyle
end is here.
Kyle Tucker has had
Tucker's here,
mm,
but
the
Vlad's
dips.
bottom of the
dips are
low.
here. Like
Yeah.
somebody posted something like his last 400 at bats, maybe it was less than that, whatever. His slash line is like was like crazy, like
Mhm.
890 OPS, like all these amazing stats. But then his last like 1500 or something
It was
before that,
it was I think it was basically like post it was from like May this year on that was like the high SOPS.
essentially,
But
yeah.
his last 400 games he's like a 791.
Yeah, it was essentially May on, and then it was after 2021 to May. It's like a 750 OPS.
Yeah, he was maybe
Like,
touching eights.
and he was hitting like 260
Which is
maybe versus like
good,
300.
It's good. It's not
but it's not
500
$45
million.
million.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Soto and Otani haven't done that.
No.
Like they haven't had those dips.
Just in
Soto had the
yeah.
1 year, but he still gets on base a fuck ton
Right. He hit like
and
two.
produces a ton of
I think
WAR
Soto
and
hit what
everything because of
two?
that.
He had 240 that year, but his on base was almost 400.
Yeah.
Like it's still
It's
ridiculous.
it's honestly kind of funny the difference a day can make because if we recorded this podcast yesterday, like 20 minutes after the news dropped, I would have had a hell of a lot different opinion than I do right now. But honestly, stupid as it sounds, I listened to Gate 14 and somehow those two meatheads talking about it, and I'm like, huh, maybe it's not that big a deal yet.
I
Because
mean,
like,
'cause it was pointed out that
mm,
Vladdy basically said the door's not closed if
no,
something's realistic, and I'm just
no.
like,
And if we're looking at it today, who's giving Vlad that money? Like, I think the Mets are the leading candidate.
the Mets.
But
Mhm.
I've seen the Yankees as a thing, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Something's up
There's
with your mic.
is there?
Yeah.
Now it's fine.
I think you're okay. It was just cutting out for a
It
sec.
was just yeah.
Okay. I there's a few things at play here. Like I think part of this is them calling his bluff.
Hmm.
Like Soto isn't a defensive. He's basically not even a defensive player, but he
Hmm.
still plays the outfield, which
Yeah.
is more of a premium position than first base. He
Hmm.
got Gold Glove top three, I think, this year, right? Um,
Yes, but
but anyways,
yeah.
that does mean something in those discussions, like whether it
Hmm.
should or shouldn't.
Hmm.
Um, no first baseman's ever come close to this. And I don't know if any will ever again. Like maybe the market isn't there for maybe that's not Vlad's actual value.
No.
Again, realistically, I think at most there's 4 teams, 5 teams maybe.
Hmm.
Us, the Mets, the Red Sox are a thing just because it's a thing.
People keep saying the Yankees too, but
The
I don't know
Yankees, but
how
I don't think
much
that's
Vlad's in on that.
uh there's
The Dodgers are always a thing because
I
Freddie's a free agent in
The
2 years.
Cubs, potentially.
but like the Cubs aren't if they're not gonna spend on Tucker, like I don't think they're gonna spend on Vlad.
Uh,
Like
the Giants always seem to want to spend money.
yeah, I could
I don't
see that.
know.
Like,
They spent on Adamas and they spent on
mhm,
somebody else recently too, didn't they?
yeah,
And
I don't know. It's
maybe
just another name that could like I.
look, he whether you want to call him a generational player or not, like obviously it depends on your definition of generational,
Mhm.
whatever. But he's a top 10 player in this league, top 15 at worst.
Hitter. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's gonna give him a big deal. Like
Like
I think there's still a world where he comes back to the Jays similar to Judge and says, "Okay, match it or
Mm.
give me X amount more," and we get the last say. Maybe
yeah, I
there's
was
That's kind
not.
of what I was gonna say because the whole narrative he's been pushing is that I want to come back to Toronto and I love in Toronto. That's where you prove that you want to come back to Toronto. If you get to the end of this negotiate or the end of the free agency and someone says, "Hey, we'll give you 13 years at 45 million. We'll give him the deal that apparently he's looking for here." You go back to the Blue Jays and say, "Hey, look, the Mets will give me this. If you match it, I'll come home." If you
or
don't, and
if
it
he
ends up being just like, "Oh, well, the Mets just give me this, I'm going there,"
yeah.
Yeah.
then this is all just a facade.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that plays into it. Like
Mhm.
also, do you now pivot to Bo and see if you can get him on like a 5, 6 year deal around like
If
20, 25 a
if
year.
you give Bo the
20's light,
Adamas,
but
Help.
if you gave Bo what Adamas got, I wouldn't necessarily be mad.
the other thing is
I don't know if
Like,
he would.
he came out and said he wants to win,
Yeah.
and that's his biggest thing. If they go out and shit the bed this year, what incentive does he have to come back?
It's such an odd situation to be in because if they're bad, he's not going to want to come back, but he's also probably going to get traded if they're bad, if we're being honest. Like if you reach the deadline and you have nothing in line with Vlad, he's
Yep,
probably not coming back. You're probably going to move him. But on the flip side, if they're
you could.
good, it's probably due to Vladdy being good. So he's probably going to make the money, but you really don't want to trade him if you're in the mix.
Yep. What the
Nate,
fuck?
Tough day for Nate's computer.
Oh my
yeah,
God. Here we
Um,
go.
I don't know. It's
The
just
other side, like if he truly does want to come back
Mhm.
and they can, and then they're out of it, trade him at the deadline. Do what Harper wanted
Mhm.
the Nats to do and be like, make me the offer in the offseason and I want to come back.
Mhm.
Give me a
yeah.
fair offer.
Tell him,
They
yeah,
still have the leg up on every team after the season. Am I wrong? Like the free agency window doesn't open until
The end
like
of
a month or so
playoffs.
after the season ends, right?
The end of playoffs. It's
Is
like
it?
a week after.
it's like a
Yeah.
week
Okay.
after, but
Well, either way, you have that week, and then you
yeah,
have probably at least a round or two of playoffs.
yeah.
I would assume to talk to Vlad and either match the offer and see, like, depending on what he does this year. Like, if Vlad has a 2023 year again, you come back at him with whatever offer you just gave and say, "Hey, look, we still value at this. What do you think?"
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
What
what
is
happened to Pete?
Mhm.
Pete had his
You could have
arguably his worst
that.
year.
You could have him go gangbusters too, and you
Mhm.
could be looking at 650.
Mhm. Entirely possible.
Yeah,
Realistically, we don't know what the number is. The number could be fucking 650 right now. We'd have no idea.
Yeah.
And if it's 650, I kind of see where they're coming from. It's
yeah.
probably not.
Like
But if he's
Here's
comparing to Soto,
it's
what did
probably
Soto
pretty
just get?
close. Like
Mm-hmm.
here's kind of my overall thing, like how I felt about it
Mm-hmm.
from the moment, I don't know, the past like week or so when it's been down to crunch time and the moment I heard it wasn't happening. Look, I would have given him a blank check. I would have said, like, you negotiate obviously, but like you try and get him down a little bit, but you eventually, in the end, I would have just given him the blank check for whatever he wanted
Yeah.
and gone because I don't think you can replace him. That being said, what I said at the start is still how I feel. Like if you can find a replacement that is adequate and going to put up that production, go for it. Spend the money elsewhere. I don't care. I want to watch winning baseball.
Yeah.
If they can put a winning team on the field without Vladdy and Bo or without one of them,
Mm-hmm.
go for it. Like I can't wait.
No, I'm with you. Like, as much as I love Vladdy and I'd love to see him here for the rest of his career, he's not the only player in the league with talent. Like there's other
No,
options and there's other way to go about it that don't include a high value first baseman. I would love to see it. I'm not going to be upset if they give him 700 million. I really don't care. It's not my money. Spend it however the hell you want.
yeah,
It would be nice to see him back, but he doesn't have to come back to continue being successful. The one narrative I think that's kind of gotten out of control a little bit is like as soon as the deadline hit and everyone found out that Vlad wasn't coming home, people just blew up on what Ross Atkins has done all of a sudden. I'm like, I kind of get it. And I'm like,
okay,
you'd like to see him
the
sign
one
this?
thing that I could agree upon is like, dude, he's
Mhm.
extended two people in his
Sure.
like 10 years
Who
here.
would you have extended in this run?
I'm okay. To be fair, like it's the whole like, why didn't you extend Bo and Vlad early kind of thing.
Right.
But it's the funny thing. It's the one guy that they like really did truly extend was Randall Grichuk.
Mm-hmm.
who's
Oh,
the
I
second
get it.
one?
I think it was if you're being technical, it's Barrios.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
On like a technicality,
Yeah.
it's Barrios, but
And I'm like, I saw that same story, but like,
it's just
who
like,
have we had that we should have extended?
are you okay? It's going back to the whole Teo,
Sure. They
Lorios,
traded
like
Teo.
Yeah,
it's those
I was
types.
thinking about this today though, because I was listening to FT and they were talking about the Diamondbacks. Like, can we go back to the fuck year was that? After the 22 season, I
21.
guess that was
The
the
World Series year that they won or What? Are you talking? Okay,
Can
the
we go back
22
to 93? That'd be great.
No, you said the Diamondbacks
No,
in
no, no.
22.
They were
Oh.
talking about the trade we made with the
Oh, okay.
Diamondbacks.
I
I'm
was supposed to be
saying
like,
that's the
Mm.
20 that was after the 22 season, right?
yeah,
There's a world where we go into the 2023 season with did we get Brios in 22 or 23? 22, right?
no,
Two.
we have Barrios in 20 in 21. That was after
Yeah.
the 21, so we had him.
What was it? Okay,
We got
so like Barrios,
20.
Gossman, you still sign Bassett. You don't need Belt because you have Teo.
You
You can still have Gurriel.
you could still get Kevin Kiermaier if you
You
wanted.
could still get Kevin Kiermaier.
You
You
have
could have
Dude.
traded Kirk, Jano, or Moreno for more than Varsho. Like
Hmm.
looking back on it, it's tough.
it's that
It's
offseason that
tough.
really
I can understand why they did it, especially when the lasting image from the 22 season
is.
is Bo and
Thank you.
Springer
I
running
was,
into each other. And
the real villain in this whole fucking scenario, JP Crawford. That's the real villain.
Yep.
If JP Crawford doesn't hit that fucking
Carlos
blooper,
Santana doesn't help either, but yep.
no, but it's the JP Crawford hit that everybody remembers.
The
Like,
real villain, if we're gonna be honest, is Anthony Pass.
the real villain
Or
is
Tim Meza,
Jordan Romano.
Jordan Romano.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hope he signs back here. I would
I do
like that
too,
out there.
100%.
I'm
I hope
like
Bo does too. I
I'm like
hope
70% that he's coming.
100%.
Vladdy's coming back. I'm like 20 on Bo coming back.
I'm
I'm
not
very
70.
much I'm honestly a little higher on Bo coming back, if I'm
I
being
am
honest.
too.
I think if Bo preface on a long term deal, I think if Bo comes back, it's
Mhm.
like it's like a Pete thing. It's a high AAV short term with opt outs.
Yeah. The thing with Bo, I think we can kind of transition out a little bit. I mean, we can come back if there's more you guys want to say, but the quote that came out with from Hazel May there, I don't even know if it was in this one. Oh yeah, so where he said like, "Oh, I was told they would reach out and they haven't yet," but in the past has been during spring training, and like the fact that they want to like they told them they're going to reach out, and now that the whole Vladdy situation is over, like I feel like there's gonna be contract talks throughout spring training,
Yeah.
and he seems to want to be here.
I don't think if Bo obviously Bo get your money. I don't think
Hmm.
Bo's stupid enough to be like, hey, give me 250, give me 300. Like I don't
No,
think
I
he's
think
that
he knows his
stupid.
worth.
Like
Like I think the
he
big
knows no,
difference
he knows
here,
his worth, but I'm not saying he's not going to be the yeah, I'm the $300 million
yeah,
shortstop. Like
no,
I
no,
think I think if they don't sign him in spring and he has a good year, he could get 250 on the open market.
for sure.
for
If he
sure,
has a good year, yeah,
he
no,
has a
for
Yeah,
good
sure.
year.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm somebody like you could argue paying him off a good year, 35 mil a year.
Mhm.
So I'm saying you spread that out, you go 25 over 10.
Mhm.
yeah.
The strange thing, I don't know, maybe it's just me and maybe it's a dumb line of thinking, but the whole Vlad being like, "Oh, I love Toronto. I want to be here. I want this. I love it here. I want it," feels very
The more that you're hearing it, the more it feels
negotiation tactic.
Yeah.
Whereas Bo has just been sitting back here going like, "If they sign me, they sign me. I want to
I
play here,
I
but
want to
like
play here and I like
I'm not
Vladdy and I
shoving
want to
it down
win.
your throat type of thing." And like that feels more genuine somehow.
Well,
It
because Bo,
could be just like completely
I
wrong, and
think
he
I
could
think
also
they
hate it here.
both do. I
I feel like Vlad's is less genuine for some reason. Just this whole week has kind of made me feel that way, but it could be true and genuine, but who knows?
look, also if you're Vlad and you're sitting there asking for 650,
Hmm.
do you blame him? What did Soto go for? 750? Shohei
765.
got 7.
Hmm.
You're a homegrown talent for
Yeah,
an organization that has been starved for a homegrown talent since what, Delgado or Doc?
yeah.
And
No, I
we
was,
let one walk because we couldn't pay him. We traded one because we weren't going to sign because he wanted a chance to win and
yeah.
wasn't going to resign.
Hmm.
We've been starved for a homegrown talent of this caliber,
Sure.
and we've thrown the money around to other guys and not him.
Yeah. Now that's I take Shohei right out of that equation. Like
Yes,
Shohei
I
is a
agree.
different animal.
I
I
agree.
like I've seen a lot of people say that like, oh, you're going to give the money to Shohei, you're going to give the money to Soto. Shohei doesn't matter. That's a completely different
I
thing.
I
Anybody
100%
should have given that
agree.
money to Soto or Shohei.
But if you're Vlad
Hmm.
and you're looking at like obviously there's a lot more with Shohei, the off-field stuff. But if you're looking at just the on-field stuff,
Hmm.
they're not that far apart if Shohei's just a hitter.
But
Because
I mean,
Vlad's also playing defense, and Shohei's not. Like Shohei's clogging up your DH spot. They're
Yeah.
not they're not like worlds apart, like 400 million to
No,
700
they weren't when Shohei was both as hitters, but as just a hitter last year, Shohei might have ran way away from him. Just with
million.
the ability to steal 50 bags in a year on top of
Yes.
being the hitter that he was, like
Yes.
you're not finding that.
Yes. I
You're
agree.
lucky.
It's
You're
not going to
lucky
happen
if Vlad
again.
gets you like 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
But
Look,
I mean, I
but
see what you're saying. And but like to me, it's just like if you're Vlad going into that meeting going, hey, look, you offered this money. I'm not even mentioning Shohei because like I understand why you offered Shohei 700 and whatever $1 million. I'm not Shohei. And I think if you're not thinking that, then you're a little delusional. But the Soto thing, realistically, we're talking about a guy that's going to be a DH in 3 years.
yep.
That's not much more. I don't know if it's even more valuable than a first baseman. It's about the same type of
The
value. They're
flip side of that,
arguably the
just
same hitter.
touching on Shohei,
Mhm.
if I'm Vlad, I'm bringing it up 100%. I don't think I'm the same caliber as Shohei. But when on the baseball field, just hitting, you're pretty fucking close, which
Sure,
could be 50 million different, could be 100 million different, whatever the
sure,
number is, whatever it
sure.
is.
But I'm not paying Shohei 760 or whatever it was to for the baseball side of things, and I think he knows that.
I understand, but you can't quantify the other stuff. Like,
again,
it,
the worst thing that happened was Juan Soto got more money than Shohei Ohtani.
That's the problem.
It,
that 100% is the problem. But I'm just saying, if you're Vlad, it doesn't matter how you look at it. Like, I
Mhm.
think it probably stings a bit to see them shelling out all this money, basically
Yeah,
giving these guys whatever they want. And Vlad, if that was the realistic number is 585 or whatever for 13, I don't think that is insane for him.
I think this whole Vlad negotiation should have been hammered out before the Soto contract was signed, or we were even involved.
I said this at the start
Hmm.
of no, before the start of the fucking off season. I said this is perfect.
Hmm.
And I said it was smart they kept Ross because they waited too long to fire him. They
Hmm.
could use that window where during the playoffs to negotiate with Vlad
Vlad.
and bang something out with Vlad.
Hmm.
And they
There's
didn't. And I think that was so fucking stupid.
yeah, there's two reasons on that one for me is because there's Vlad's now looking at the Soto contract being like, I want something like that. And
Yeah,
then the other side of things is you go to Soto and be like, hey, we now have Vlad for 13 years.
both.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
it's it sucks. It was poorly managed. I'm not going to sit here and say Ross like was
and
fine in what he did and he shouldn't have given the money, blah blah blah. It's a lot of money, but I think Ross still fumbled it.
yeah, and there's a question to ask to get answered here. Say you don't obviously you don't have anything done with Vlad. He doesn't. You don't get a miraculous like a week from now he does sign something. Say
Okay,
the Jays
wait.
aren't good.
Pause for half a second, Connor. I just want to touch on that. Do you guys think they still try and negotiate through spring training?
It wouldn't surprise me
I think they should try.
because if he did say that the door isn't closed if it's a
Yeah,
realistic offer.
that's what I think. I don't think he's going to talk during the season. I think spring training is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, continue your point. I just
But
wanted
like
to.
my thing is, say obviously if they don't get anything done with Vlad, say they suck. I think you potentially do more than just trade Vlad and Bo. I think what's the point
Blow it up.
if you're not a good team? What's the point of Anthony Santander? If you're not a good team, what's the point of Jeff Hoffman?
Yeah.
Like
I
Well,
mean, yeah.
here's what's realistically going to happen. I think we all kind of agreed a couple podcasts ago we were giving Ross a like B plus on this
Mm-hmm.
offseason. I said Vlad extension gives me an A plus. I think I said B plus.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
if this blows up again and it's 3 years in a row
he's gone.
of
Like
lackluster, I don't know about Shapiro. I think he's done a lot with the stadium, and I think that plays a part. But I
Mm-hmm.
think Atkins is fucking gone before the deadline, and it's James Click making all of these
yes,
decisions.
like
I don't think
I'm
he doesn't there is no chance he makes any of these decisions at the deadline if this blows up in his face again.
no. I would really like to be in the room knowing who's the one capping the value on Vlad. I don't think it's Ross. The
No,
way they did their interviews, it didn't
no,
seem like it was Ross's kind of
I
MO
wouldn't have
to
don't
be
thought
you
it
like,
think?
was
well, this is where
Ross
we're
to
at.
begin with.
I also think
I
this is a Rogers decision too.
yeah.
I don't
Like
know if it
Apparently,
is.
apparently Ed Rogers was, or is it Ed or Ted? I forget.
Ed, I think it's
That's
Ed.
dead.
Okay. He was involved in negotiations. Shapiro said that.
Because
Okay.
like
They were talking about on Blair Barker.
if it's yeah, because it's just bigger
So
than
was like the CEO or president of Rogers. Like they were all heavily involved. Look, maybe they're capping it. Maybe I-
maybe they were there one time
Mark
and it didn't really matter.
Mark hasn't seemed to love Vlad the same way
Yeah, we
like
do.
we do, I
The
guess.
city of Toronto does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The country of Canada does? Like
And look,
Mhm.
the way him and Ross seem to view players
Mhm.
kind of makes sense. Like, hey, like you're gonna sell out if you win.
Mhm.
You're not necessarily gonna sell out if you have one good player.
Yeah,
Like you gotta win.
I don't know, man. Vlad sells seats.
oh, I thought you were gonna say something about Shohei, and I'm like, just because he was on the Angels, that's completely different.
Oh yeah, no, that's a completely different story.
I don't
Um,
I don't
like
think Vlad packs the stadium though.
he
the
he does,
numbers
Was it
but
since
he
he's
doesn't.
okay? Was it packed all year this year? This past year?
it's significantly more than it was in 2018 and 17 or
Well,
18 and 19.
what was the best player on 18? Fucking Kendrys Morales and Randall
Well,
Grichuk.
that's kind of my point. Like you can be a bad team with a good player that sells a lot of tickets. The Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be a bad team with an
Yeah.
elite player that are going to sell tickets when he pitches.
Yeah, but it's not the same level, I don't think.
It's
You're gonna
No,
be
he's
much
not Paul
more
Skeens level stardom for sure,
you're gonna
but
be have
he
much more
sells tickets.
fans. You're gonna have much more fans coming to the ball game for a winning team.
Yeah,
Especially in Toronto, man. Like
yeah.
we are
this
the
a lot
city
of this
of grit
fan base
grind.
is
Like
bandwagon fans, honestly.
Sure.
Like look at 2015, 16, and even throw in 17. Like when that team was
that
rocking, and
was
then the couple year or two after, it was insane in there because everyone was showing up because it was such a party and the team was good.
yeah. And then you go to 18 and 19, it's like, oh, here's some stuff. If you
Here's
want to,
Derek Fisher.
here's Billy McKinney. Here's Brandon Drury pre his like being good. Like
2024, we had a higher average attendance than we did in 2022.
that feels weird.
That's fucking nuts.
That feels
We
weird.
were bad.
That feels weird. That's
Significantly
what?
worse. It
What the
wasn't like
fuck?
it's not egregious. Like it's 400 and something more per game, but like it's still technically a higher number.
Also, the thing that okay, average like people or average like ticket sale like money
I couldn't tell you. Just says
because
game average.
there's less seats.
It says attendance.
There's
So
less seats in 24 than there is in 22.
when was the renovations? Wasn't that 22? Or was that
23 was the
23?
first year.
Oh
23
shit.
was the first
Yeah,
year with
you're
the
right.
seat renovation.
You're right. Yeah. So
Like,
I don't know. Then like we're talking
That
about a jump
also,
of
if you're going
almost
22,
5,000 from
24,
2018.
you could look at that as the ballpark too, though,
Helps.
because it was more of a thing.
yeah, also coming off of 21, like the vast majority of Jays fans were like, okay, yeah, this is we're good, we're doing something now. You had to be convinced on the 22 Jays a little bit for like the outside viewer.
Did you?
Well, at least people that
2021 was like, man, if we
if
would
it's
have
a
made the
okay,
playoffs, we were
fine.
winning the World
I'm
Series.
talking on a
type of team.
microscope. I had to like talk my family into being like, the Jays are a thing again.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
We
I
had
mean, that
the
21
Cy
team
Young
was pretty
winner,
lethal.
the Hank Aaron
He was gone.
we
in 21 though.
Yeah.
I'm saying we had the Cy Young winner, the Hank Aaron winner,
Mm.
and what three,
Two
four
MVP
Silver
candidates.
Sluggers.
two, three MVP. We would have won Team Silver Slugger if that was a thing.
Mhm.
I think we had four Silver Sluggers, didn't we?
It was
Semi and Bo,
Kirk.
Vlad,
Glad. No,
Kirk?
Kirk was 20.
And
Kirk was
Teo?
23.
It was not 21?
Kirk was 22.
Was it?
Kirk was 22. So it
Okay.
was Vlad, Simeon,
Anyways.
Teo, and yeah. And Bo, I'm pretty sure.
Look, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think that's kind of the main thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Before we get further off of it, because I don't want to be too nice to the front office because I feel like I haven't been mean enough. The one thing that pissed me off to
You're
all
being
in,
positive.
Yeah. What happened? What happened to you being positive the whole time, Brant?
I know, but it's different. This is just the
Oh,
front
no,
office.
it's-
The one thing I do want to say is the quote that came out that where they're like, "Oh, well, it's still a business, so we got to treat it like a business." And I'm like, I tweeted this out and I stand by it. if you're running a business and you tell your customers that we don't fucking care about you, probably not a very successful business model. Like
Not
watching all
likely,
the
no.
quotes that came out in this whole thing where Vlad's like, "Oh, we weren't close," and this and that, and like just the way they handled the whole thing just makes your blood boil. And
Saying
watching
Yeah.
that whole thing go down as like a customer of this team is such a pain in the ass, and it just fucking irks me to hear him say that.
saying you went over your valuation for the player and him saying you still weren't close,
Mm-hmm.
that isn't a good look.
Bad.
No.
No, it's bad.
How do you
And like,
define close is like one of the dumbest things
yeah,
you could say.
ridiculous. And the fact that it was like, oh well, we gave him the highest offer in Blue Jays history. The highest offer
That's
in Blue Jays
it's
history is a
George.
joke.
It's
a
George
joke.
Springer.
And that's fucking 6 years ago. The contracts have changed 5 years ago. 5 years ago. The
Five.
contracts have changed a lot since George Springer signed his, and we have not. We've signed like 4 legit stars, and we still haven't beat the George Springer contract. 2, 3.
Legit stars.
Sure.
Depending on how
I
you
mean,
feel. Depending on how you feel
guys.
about Kevin Gausman and like
Yeah.
at the time, I
Like,
guess.
Yeah. It's just to hear that was just like, oh, it's still a business. I'm like, I don't agree with your business model here. Like you're telling us, the fans, that like,
If
hey,
you're alienating,
you really don't matter.
if you're
But we're gonna
alienating
build
the best product,
stadium.
or if you're
Yeah.
like,
I don't know. I didn't
So-
really understand that. It bothered me a lot.
okay,
But
I was gonna make a terrible food analogy, but it's gonna be like that's like the like CEO of Oreos being like, hey, you see how we have all these like crazy wacky flavors that you sometimes buy, and you like the what if we just said buy
no
the
more
original,
originals.
no more
Yeah.
original,
Yeah.
that's gone forever.
We're running a business here. It costs too much money to make the originals. We're just gonna make the weird flavors from
We're just gonna
here
make the
on out.
wasabi and like the peaches and
Yeah.
sour candy. Like no, but
You know what?
but no,
weird,
no.
weird. What do you call it? Metaphor, but it works.
Like yeah, that's like saying, hey, double stuff, fuck off, no more, no more double stuff.
No, we're done with that.
Like
Yeah, I don't
because double stuff costs too
Hey.
much money for our valuation.
We don't need to sell double stuff because the regulars still sell. Sure.
Because the thins, the thins of the world are coming up.
We're
and
actually
they're
putting
gonna-
less cream in the middle now.
yeah, the thins are going to be so much better. Like we're going to let them grow and become great players. Joey Loperfido, Addison Barger.
Yeah.
Nate hates me so much for that
Let me
analogy.
hop back on the rails here for like a couple seconds.
Yes. Go ahead.
So after this arbitrary deadline, does this change your outlook on the rest of this, let's call it off season, even though spring training has started?
Did it first,
Yeah, it did it first.
and then I watched Bo hit a tank off of Bowden Francis, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, we're back.
Fuck it.
No,
We're
no.
here.
So what I'm saying is,
Oh, the off-season outlook.
yes, if this is truly
Mhm.
your last year with Vlad and Bo,
Right.
and this is your last run, do
Mm.
you sell the fucking farm and go get a Cease or whoever,
Oh, I
an
see what you're
Eloy,
saying.
and
Like-
go
All in.
all in? Do you go
Yeah,
all
no
in?
Tatis Jr.
Yeah, whoever you want to throw out there, but like that's what I'm saying. Do
Sure.
you go all in,
Sure.
or is this front office prospect hugging because they want to?
Because they're not sure how
I don't know, but
it's
like
going to go.
if you're Mark and Ross, your ass is in the fucking hot seat right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
Oh, it's been.
Oh, yeah.
but
Oh, if it's
it is
been.
more now. It is
Yeah,
more
The spikes,
now
the spikes
after
are
this.
coming down now
Yeah, but
on your
like,
head.
You
Like
you now like they have this glutton of
Mhm.
fucking prospects, call them prospects, 4A players, whatever, that are
Sure.
right here.
Major
You've
league
got
ready
a
guys.
couple, yeah, you've got a couple high level prospects.
Mhm.
Do you just fucking sell the farm and go get an Eloy and a Cease or whatever? Like,
Sure.
you get multiple pieces and be like, all right, we want to win here.
I know who you mean when you say Eloy, and you
Oh,
don't mean
fuck.
Eloy.
No, I don't. I
You
mean,
mean Luis Robert.
yeah.
I know who you meant.
I
But like,
heard him say it, and I was like,
Eloy Jimenez was a free agent. He got a minor league deal with Tampa.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
no, wrong guy.
I don't think he would cost that much.
no,
Wrong guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like no, you go get
But
or you like yeah, you go get a Robert. You go get you try to go get like a Tatis.
Sure.
Like you go say hi to fucking Pittsburgh and say hi Jared Jones because apparently that was a thing.
Sure.
Like
hey, I could see there even being a world where you go fucking
You
rap
go
on
get
San
Kyle
Diego's door and say, hey, we'll eat Xander Bogaerts' deal if you throw in somebody else. If you throw in a Cease or a Tatis and you make like the Mookie Betts trade.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
Why not?
or you do what some other teams are doing and just see. Like, are we off? No, we're not off the Jays yet. I was going to transition off the Jays.
No.
But
No.
fuck it. You do what a certain other team did and say, fuck it. Even though this guy that we're signing for a lot of money plays a position that we already have a guy for, fuck it. We'll make it work. Like,
we'll get back to him in a second.
We need to get back to that.
We'll get back to him. But like,
the going back a little bit here, every year there's the straw that breaks the camel's back for Mark and Ross. And every year that fucking camel just keeps on going. We have yet to break that camel's back. And we just keep adding more and more straws. And
every
none of them
year,
break this fucker's back. Every goddamn year.
Every year that straw keeps getting earlier in the fucking season.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
One point they just dumped a box of straws on there, and the camel just said, "No, I'm good, bro."
Because what 22 season was what fire? I was gonna say Fire and Charlie, but that was actually a good thing.
22. It was 22
was when
we
they
talking
fucking...
the off season after or the one before?
22 was the off season. They got Chapman, and they lost Semien and all them.
They lost Semien.
They lost Semien and
Ray. They
Ray
lost their MVP candidate.
They lost Semien and Ray and brought in Chapman and Gosman.
Ray was fine because they brought in Gosman.
But yeah, you replaced Semien with Chapman, and it was just like
bad.
Cool.
Bad.
At the time, not terrible.
It was a good pivot.
Bad.
It was a good pivot considering. Like, but then
we're only looking at this in hindsight. It was bad.
And then the 23, the offseason going into 23.
There's the Bass situation that they handled like shit.
Oh fuck.
There was the Teo trade. There's the lack of Teo negotiations. There's the fact they haven't signed Vlad. There's
Moreno
what
trade.
Else happened in 23? The Moreno trade, you know what, not that bad of a trade, but still enough of a straw to throw on that back that it could have snapped a couple.
Okay, going into 23 was still fine. We weren't at the Shohei shit yet,
right? And then we did nothing last offseason. That didn't
the
seem
Shohei thing happened.
The Shohei thing happened. The fact that we have no playoff wins in their run happened. Then they missed the playoffs last year.
The Soto stuff.
But there's that fucking camel.
We were
rolling along.
We apparently offered the most money to Corbin Burns, but for $40 million less, he said, fuck you. Like, there's us trading Spencer, one of our better younger promising hitters for Jimenez, who has a lot of money, and
the fucking Miles Straw deal,
the Roki Sasaki shit.
Yep.
Like,
yep. There is no straw that breaks this camel's back. This camel is invincible. It's not gonna die.
So positive.
I'm so positive. I am so sure that this camel's gonna keep going.
I can't lie, Nate. That was probably the most positive way he could have spun that.
What do you want me to tell you? We're not firing the front office. I'm so positive about that.
Yeah. Okay. Can we move off this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Guaranteed we'll be back. We'll joke about it somewhere in here. George Springer was just talking today. Apparently, there's gonna be times where he's playing left field.
Why does this matter?
I guess.
Who cares?
Yeah, I was
That's
just
what
like,
I
all
mean.
right.
People are so worked up about this.
It
doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. Literally, I
Who's
think
going to play right field though? Because they already said Santiago was going to be left field.
No, the two of them.
They're going to flip them.
Based on matchups, they're just
what happened a couple of years ago. I do remember the Orioles doing it. Depending on the ballpark, they would flip who was in each corner.
That makes a bit of sense.
Like if they're in Baltimore, George is playing left.
You know, it'd be great.
Like,
it'd be completely stupid, but it'd be a lot of fun. Anytime there's a lefty, George is in right. Anytime there's a righty, George is in left.
I don't think so. Yeah, Santander's not good. I don't think he's that bad. Like
but it'd be way more fun.
Actively move the ball away from him. Honestly, if we were doing it just based on matchups, Dalton Varsho is the left fielder in Baltimore.
Sure.
Regardless of, and George plays center.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Same thing with Orelvis. He's going to move from second base to third base.
Just get him away from the ball.
Just get him away. They'll like somehow get MLB to introduce a designated fielder, and Orelvis just doesn't never
stay out there.
He's just second DH.
We just merge Andres Jimenez and Orelvis Martinez.
Oh, that's the fucking best player in baseball history. Like
both play on either side of the base. Like they're just hugging the bag together.
Orelvis is a rover.
Jimenez just covers both.
No. Orelvis just hits.
Oh, and Jimenez plays defense.
Gloves.
Yes.
Yeah. Or Arovis is a rover.
Elvis just kind of stands behind second base, and you just let Jimenez
It's
do all the work.
it's the opposite of Shohei.
Yeah.
Two guys
One
to play one spot.
Yeah,
You
love
have
it.
one less roster spot
Sure.
because you have two guys playing the same position.
On defense, I kind of my brain was going off this week, and I thought of this. If you had the choice for, let's say, 130 games this year, would you rather have Vlad at third and Wagner at first, or Wagner at third and Vlad at first?
Wagner at third, Vlad at first.
Yeah, because apparently
If
they've been
it's-
working with Wagner at first.
I mean, he
I
will.
think that's Vlad DH
It's
time.
Vlad DH time.
I think.
They don't like unless
Hey,
I
look,
might be in on Vlad at third.
you've been in on Vlad at third for the past like 2 years.
Yeah,
It depends what
breaking
Wagner
you saw
looks
him
like.
make one diving play last year, and he was like, "All right, I'm in."
breaking news.
We haven't seen Wagner at third. We need to see what that looks like first.
Yeah, because we've seen him at second and we've seen him at first. Like,
Vlad was a positive outs above average at third last year.
He played like
That's all we
10
need to see.
games.
That's all we need to see.
He
And he was
played
already a
10
positive
games.
one. Imagine multiplying that by 162 or by
Hey, well,
16.2,
at least-
I guess it would be.
At least we know Vlad is willing to move positions. Unlike
Yes.
some people.
Yes. We're just going to keep teasing that one.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in for it. I think there's going to be at least 3 games this year where Vlad's at third and Wagner's at first.
That
That's
wouldn't
where I'm
surprise
at.
me because that means Santander's probably DHing,
Mhm.
and then
Well, no, you still put him in the outfield. Or Elvis is DHing.
oh, God.
I think
So
that
much-
gives you the opportunity to DH or Elvis. Let him
I
hit
think-
40 homers this year.
I think if Wagner opens the season
Hmm?
as playing third, he plays third
He plays
Sure.
until. I don't think you're just like randomly in the middle of the season being like, "Hey, let's flip and see what you guys do."
you know, yeah.
That's not
Unless
how
you're bad.
sports
If
really
we're bad,
works.
then you're like, hey, let's get Vlad's value up at third. Here you
You're
go,
not gonna
dude.
20. You're not gonna do that to him unless he's 2021 Kevin Biggio, or he's 4-hopping balls to first base. Like,
Yeah,
every
well, it's
day.
possible. I don't know if his arm's great. I haven't seen it, but
It's average from what I'm seeing. Like
Vlad's
Again,
arm is
as a second
very
baseman,
above
though.
average.
as a second
Again,
baseman, yeah,
as a
you
second
never see
baseman, he doesn't have to use it.
Vlad's got an above average arm at first, and they don't have to throw ever.
Okay.
You know who doesn't have an above average arm? Well, never mind. That's not even the right part of your body.
Ouch!
I was gonna try and transition into Adam Mako, but
Yeah,
that's
ouch!
not, the
I
meniscus
thought
is
that's
not,
what you were
the
trying to do.
meniscus
That's
was not in
brutal.
the arm. I could have
Oh
transitioned.
my
So
god!
Connor,
He probably still has a
Connor,
decent arm.
It's in the knee. I know it's in the knee.
I was just gonna ask if you wanted to tell everyone where the meniscus
The
actually
meniscus
was.
is in the knee. Like all I read was Adam Mako
He actually tore his arm meniscus. It
and
was
then
pretty
looked and went
crazy.
meniscus. Shit.
Is that the ligament they pull out and put in your elbow for Tommy John? That's what he tore.
That's
Hey,
the one.
hey, you know what?
He
You know,
can't get Tommy John anymore 'cause he
I can
doesn't have
save
the
this. I can
ligament.
save this. You know who doesn't have an above average or a good arm, whatever you said? Jacob Barnes. Because there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you saved it. You
No, I
still-
didn't, but it's way more appropriate than me calling Adam Mako shit.
That is
Like-
tough news for Adam Mako. I don't want to get off of it too quick.
Mhm.
He had a chance this year to maybe be a part of the team at some point.
Would have sniffed a couple games, I think.
Maybe he needed a good spring and a good minor league season. But
let's just put it in perspective. Jacob Barnes had a 4.36 last year in Major League Baseball. I think that is an above average arm.
generally, as a human,
I-
yes,
I don't think the average person can play Major League
No.
Baseball.
you're absolutely correct.
Okay. We're just racking up the L's today, Connor.
Yeah. Hey, man, it is what it is.
But yeah, I don't know. Sucks for Mako. Would have been cool to see him have a shot at it. Barnes, yes, Barnes was signed. I don't think that was the one we wanted to transition to of the two
No.
bullpen pieces. if
No,
I'm being
but
honest.
I was just gonna try because I thought he was worse.
You
than
couldn't
whoever-
chirp Amir Garrett because
No, because he'll
he
run
might
at me.
fight you.
Is he a lefty or a righty, Barnes?
Well, he's already. He was on the team. He was on the Jays.
Yeah, I know the name. I can't picture him.
He
But-
looks like he's been through a war in the face.
Okay, sure. 4.36 last year. Honestly, you take that on a minor league invite,
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah, it's fine. And then
I do like the Amir Garrett signing. I think there's a lot of potential there.
he's
And
your
if it's
Henny.
nothing, it's nothing.
He's your
You're
Henny.
Henny. I was just thinking that.
He's
A
your
little
he's
bit
your
off his
fire.
rocker.
He's
Throws hard.
he
Apparently has a different arm angle. You were right, Nate.
can't control it to
Okay, I
save his
was right on
life.
that.
Yeah, you were right. Apparently he's got a different arm angle.
He was going like almost the sail type thing, I think, by the
I
looks of
wasn't
it,
sure
like
what it
coming
was, but I heard he has a
Oh, so he's
different.
doing
across.
like what Sean Mania did with the
I
changes?
I think that's what I saw.
Sure.
Let's just circle back to saying Amir Garrett is a little bit off his rocker.
Hmm?
Oh,
That
Amir
guy
Garrett off.
spiked his glove and charged the
Okay, a
Pittsburgh
little
Pirates
bit was
bench.
maybe
He went
underselling it.
with nobody there to even back him. He
No.
went 6-on-1.
Yep.
And didn't care.
Yep.
He
My kind of
literally
guy. I'm here for this.
He charged the dugout and just went in swinging.
Yeah.
Like,
He hit
he
and he
didn't
landed
wait for
punches.
anybody. He just fucking went both arms like
Yep.
Hail Marys.
Yep.
Spiked it and did like he pointed at like multiple people and just went boom.
I'll tell you this for free. Brendan Little's not doing that.
No,
No.
not at all.
This might be a guy we want just for that. Why not? I
That's
hope
it.
he sticks. If he doesn't make the team out of
Yeah.
camp, I hope he sticks around.
Me too.
It'd be great.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that it from the Blue Jays
Are
side
we
of
moving
things?
on from the
Yeah,
Blue
that is the
Jays?
Blue Jays stuff.
Oh,
Great.
fuck, an hour
We're gonna.
later.
Well, yeah, that's that is the purpose
We're
of the
a Jays
podcast.
pod, Nate.
We are a Blue Jays podcast.
And we actually had probably some of the most consequential
This
shit.
is the
Yeah.
most eventful day.
We just
of
went
the
in a
offseason.
we went in a circle on
That's
Vlad
what
for
we
45
do.
minutes.
That is what we do here.
That's what we do when we're not
Comparing
allowed.
Welcome
them to
back to the
Oreos.
Flight Deck podcast.
Okay.
Sticking on the Blue Jays a little bit, thank God we were actually not in on Alex Bregman.
Yeah, that came out. Apparently, we weren't in on him at all.
Hell yeah.
No, John Boy said we had the highest offer.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, Alex Bregman goes to the Red Sox for
I
3
don't-
years,
Sorry, Connor. Before we get too far, how are you that big in baseball media and have zero sources? Not one. Not a single fucking source.
I don't know.
When have they broke anything? Ever.
Jake has actually broken a couple things.
Has he?
Yes, like he's
Okay.
actually
Yeah, but like
nothing giant.
has Baseball is Dead, any of those guys done it?
No, but at least they're funny.
I don't think any of
Yeah,
the
they don't
FT
Piss
guys
the
have.
entire world off. Also, they've bounced around from company to company. It's hard to stick a little
Yeah.
bit. Jared also seems too respectable. He doesn't like if he says something, you know where it came from. It's probably from the source directly, and he doesn't want to piss people off like
Do you
that.
want to know how? Did you guys see the video of how Jared found out that Bregman was a Red Sox?
Yeah,
It's so funny.
it's great. It's awesome.
Nate, have you?
Wasn't it on the podcast or something?
It was on it was basically like after they recorded like 2 hours. Alex Bregman FaceTimes Jared, and then has the on his face, flips the camera, and Bregman, he shows his kid wearing a Red Sox hat.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. But
Super
yeah, motherfucker got 120 million for 3 years, like
To play second base.
to play a position in the infield. Like
This is such an ugly spot for the Red Sox right
it again. If the Vlad thing wasn't happening, I'd be laughing at this even harder.
now. Whoa. Yeah, we have no room to speak right now.
I'd
But
be laughing at this way harder. But yeah, Rafael Devers, after the signing of Alex Bregman, basically went, "I'm not a DH. I'm a third baseman. I'm not moving." He basically said, "No, I'm not moving."
if you have the chance, look up
He
the
didn't
interview because the
basically
interview is the greatest thing of all
say
time.
no. He
He
just
said
said
no.
He
no.
said no.
He just flat out said no.
They're like, do you,
His
does
translator
this mean
was sweating
you're gonna
bullets.
move off third base? No.
No,
Why? I'm a third baseman. I'm like, oh no.
and then
So you won't DH? No.
And then
like,
what made it worse was Cora basically was like, because Devers got made like a promise from management,
he'll be the third baseman.
and he'd be the third baseman, and Cora goes, "Yeah, Chaim Bloom's not here anymore." Which, damn,
Not great.
not great,
Look,
but
Rafael Devers, terrible third baseman. Like when he statistically over the last, I think it's 7 seasons or something like that, he is
Yeah.
statistically the worst third baseman in baseball.
It's like negative 92 DRS or something.
It's
or
bad.
62.
It's very bad. However, Rafael Devers is still the best hitter on that team.
He's
By a
still
lot.
making the most money on that team too.
yeah,
That's probably not a guy you want to piss off.
No, and I
alienating-
don't-
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
if your best player wants to play third base
Mhm.
and you've paid him millions upon millions of dollars,
Hmm.
I'm probably going to let him play third base
Oh,
Especially
sure.
considering it's a different
until
it's
until there's a
yeah.
point where Christian Campbell proves that he
Mhm.
needs to come up and needs to play second base, and then I think you go to him and say, okay, will you move to first base?
Yeah. Will
There's
you take
so
over?
much shit there because it's one thing I think if Alex Bregman like signed like a 6-year deal.
Hmm.
You're
It's a
pissing off
1 year deal.
Devers for theoretically 1 year of Alex Bregman.
Hmm.
Like
The craziest part, Cora said the dumbest thing you possibly could. There's a smarter guy on his team in fucking Tristan Casas. Tristan Casas goes, yeah, he's our third baseman. He's the best third baseman on our team.
he's the best third baseman in
Complete lie.
baseball. Like
It's an absolute lie.
I
But
mean,
you're
Tristan
backing
Casas.
your guy.
Tristan Casas also didn't do
And you
himself
know what
any.
else you're doing?
Mm.
You're fucking. You're like
You're preserving your own ass because if he
Hmm.
has to move over to first base or
base.
DH, where the
You're
fuck is
out of
Cassis
your
going?
shit
Yeah.
off the pot, dude. Like
Yeah. Just
because they
there's
still
no
have Yoshida
reason
DHing.
why Hora couldn't went a little more political with his answer instead of being like, well, we didn't make him that promise.
And
Heim did, and he's
it was
gone.
weird.
Like,
Casas
what the
also
fuck are you doing?
What
Casas
what
also said like, yeah, I don't think any of our like super like MLB ready prospects will make the team on opening day.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
was
yeah, no
bold.
shit,
But
because they're gonna take his job and he doesn't want them to. But
two of them don't play his
here's
position.
and they're like, I really
here's
hope they don't.
I don't think any of them play his position.
Well, okay, well the Campbell thing, if that happens, if Campbell comes up and like or like he tears the cover off the ball in spring training, that forces a lot of shit to happen. But Roman Anthony's a fucking outfielder. Like
What are
and
you gonna?
Marcelo Myers is a shortstop. Like he's
So
Yeah.
here's what's gonna happen because it's happened every fucking year since the Red Sox signed him. Trevor Story is gonna get hurt,
Yep.
probably in spring training. Alex
Tomorrow.
Bregman slides to shortstop.
I
You
love how
slide
that
Christian
wasn't
Campbell in.
even like a thought.
No,
Was Alex Bregman
it
just
should be like I don't. No, the first thought was let's just piss off Devers. Like you didn't even give it a day. 20 minutes later, you're like, no, we didn't promise him shit. Fuck that guy. Instead of being like, let's see what else we can do first.
yeah, otherwise, we could have had the guy that could have maybe made the guy that played college shortstop his entire life in
Mm.
through college. And the only reason he didn't play shortstop in the MLB was because of a guy named Carlos Correa.
Didn't he also actually play shortstop in MLB
Yes,
when Carlos
Correa
Correa
got
has been
hurt.
hurt?
Yeah, and he played a lot of games in shortstop when Correa got hurt.
What do you do if you're the Boston Red Sox and Cora writes up the lineup card and he has Devers DHing and they go to take the field and Devers just runs at third base? What do you do?
It'd be hilarious.
What do you do?
That would
I think it's
actively be hilarious.
I think it was Brzezinski on Foul Territory that talked
Mhm.
about this. I think whether it was a story he heard or a team he was on. I forget who the player was. Don't remember. I
Hmm.
forget what position the guy played. But not a catcher.
Hmm.
And whoever it was, they were wanting him to move to a different position, and he was saying no, and they wrote him in the lineup as a catcher for the one day, and he just like refused. And then I think he was traded immediately or either caved in.
That's
You got to
amazing.
find the actual story. I just
Yeah.
totally butchered it, but that apparently happened was they just put
Yeah.
him in the lineup as a catcher. I want to say it was like a guy who either was a major league manager or is currently. Like it was a well-known name.
Hmm. That's wild. I don't know, man. That's such an ugly situation, but I love it. If it was
It's
any other team, it would kind of suck. But since it's the
it's
Red Sox, it's
yeah, it's
fantastic.
also one of
It's
those
great.
things that let's be honest, when we get to like May or
Mhm.
like June, we're gonna look
Mhm.
back and be like, remember when Rafael Devers just was it like that whole thing? And you're like,
Hell no,
interesting.
we won't go. Yeah.
Right. He's don't treading on me for third base. Like
Yeah. Fuck, man. Good for him. I respect it. I trade him, but I respect it.
yeah.
Wild.
I could actually transition kind of this.
Sure.
Someone was not willing to change positions in Rafael Devers, but you know who was? Mike Trout.
Mm.
There you go. That's better.
The Mike Trout interview is heartbreaking.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I haven't seen that.
It's
yeah, it's on. They did it on Baseball is Dead. That's the only reason I've heard it. But like, basically, he's just like, hey, I want to play baseball, and if that means I'm going to right field, then I'm going to right field. I still see myself as a
yeah.
center fielder, but I gotta play baseball, and if this is gonna do it, then great.
Yeah, he's averaged. I think they said he averaged 67 games the last 4 years,
Yeah,
which like
yeah, it's bad.
also, did you guys see that? You know how MLB's been putting out those like, oh, here's what the opening day lineup and like rotation projection is.
Mm.
Did you see who's projected hitting 8 and 9 for the Angels?
No.
Tim Anderson and fucking Yohan Moncada. Well, Meadows hurt, and so is fucking what's his
In
name?
Rendon, but like,
Rendon.
Jesus, that's
Oh,
hilarious.
but that doesn't. Rendon's not an angel anymore.
But
We
okay,
can stop pretending that's a thing.
he's fucking retired.
He's
He's the most retired unretired player I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Like,
I would say maybe Steven Strasburg.
I feel like
He's
Steven
still
Strasburg
technically not
actually
retired.
though.
Yeah, but he's not retired.
Just
No, they wouldn't let him retire, Connor.
They said
They
no,
make
no,
him
no. You
come to
stay.
spring training every year
Mhm.
and work out or whatever,
Exist.
and do everything, and then
Yes.
they put him on the 60-day.
That is the most retired, unretired guy I've ever seen.
I there's no other place.
Funny teammates.
Yeah. Before you transition out, those graphics, by the way, that is the laziest graphic I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's just here's it.
It's
honestly,
literally just a screenshot of like
it's
I don't
something
even know what
I'd
the
make.
website is.
It's something I'd make.
It's something worse than what you could make. I trust you to make a better graphic than that. It's bad. It's like literally just a screenshot of the fucking lineup put over top of a picture of someone. I'm like, when I first saw it, I thought it was like one of those like, on Instagram where you see those like weird baseball
Yeah.
accounts that are just posting content just because. I thought it was one of those. I'm like, damn, you guys pay this guy? It's crazy. Sorry, where are we gonna transition out to here,
It wasn't
Connor?
even a transition. It was just because
Okay.
there's no other place to bring this up.
Mhm.
Tim Anderson's apparently going to be getting some outfield work in spring training.
Okay.
Like,
Sure, get that guy a job. Why not?
he's on the Angels, motherfucker. What do you mean?
No, but get him. He's not gonna. He's got to make the team first.
I have a feeling he will, but
Did you listen to his interview on Foul Territory?
it was weird.
It was
Like,
so weird.
It was very clear that him and AJ Brzezinski don't like each other.
But then by the
Did
end
they
of it,
cross
he's
paths?
like, yeah, I like you. No,
no,
not
They never-
playing
thankfully.
together. They played against each other.
Really?
Well, yeah, TA came up in like 18, I think. Like
Oh, if he
17
came
or
up in 18, then they definitely didn't.
It was like 17 or 18. Like,
Herzinski doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would have loved Tim Anderson.
no. Well, fucking Yasmin. If he's anything like Yasmani Grandal, he
Yeah.
would have hated him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where we transition out of that team.
Well, they signed Joey Gallo. Oh, no, they didn't.
Great.
Their old
No,
team signed Joey
The
Gallo.
White Sox got Joey Gallo.
Great. How does that make you feel, Connor?
I would have liked him as a Blue Jay, kind of.
Hold up. I gotta find MLB.
Did you, though? He hasn't been good
No,
since
man.
Texas.
We don't have power on the bench.
He doesn't have power anymore either, though. Like,
No,
it's
he
not.
has it. But
Where? What did
has
he
to
hit
be-
last
you have
year?
you have to hit the ball to see it.
Right. Joey Gallo.
Okay, while you look that up, let's just
Mhm.
fly through the rest of this because there were quite a few signings.
Joey Gallo had
Pavetta's a
10 homers.
Padre.
Pavetta was a Padre.
Gallo's a White Sox, as I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Junis is a Guardian. Graydon's a Diamondback.
Which
Eddie Rosario is a Dodger because they
Mi-
needed more outfielders.
minor league contract for Eddie Rosario.
Paul DeJong is a
1 year,
National.
$1 million for poly pumps.
Sure. John Means to the Guardians.
Which
The Padres got
Cool.
the ghost of Yuli Gurriel. Didn't
Yep.
know he was still playing. Luis Urias to the Athletics.
yep.
And the toughest one of
Oh,
them all,
shut up about that toughest one.
Justin Turner is a Chicago Cub. Would have liked to see
Former
him
Blue
back
Jays
here.
legend.
Blue
Would like to see him
Jays
back here. Just
April
saying.
Blue Jays legend
Just
Justin Turner.
saying. He was like 20% above average OPS last year.
Where are you playing him?
It could have been that.
Where?
DH.
DH.
For why?
Porque,
Arolas in the outfield. I don't care.
Oh, Rovis in the outfield.
Like, we
Oh,
already
Wagner
have
in the
too many
outfield.
guys. We
I
don't
don't
need
care.
a freaking Just Turner in the mix.
Okay, to be fair, he did have a 114 OPS plus.
Fantastic. We don't need him. We got too many guys as it is. We don't need
I
a
don't know, man.
49-year-old Justin Turner. I don't even know if he's 40, but
He might produce better than the fucking guys we've got.
Put some respect on Addison Barger.
Sure.
God damn it! I was scrolling. Where the fuck is dude? Where's the
Put some respect on Leo Jimenez. I almost said Hernandez. That's
Yeah, clearly you want to put respect on him. Where is it? Fuck! I'm trying
Can
to
we
find the projected.
predict?
Oh,
Hmm?
this fucking opening day White Sox projection. It's
Oh no.
it's so bad. Leading off, Mike Talkman,
Ooh.
Josh Rojas batting second.
Who?
Exactly. Luis
Okay.
Robert batting third.
Hey.
Andrew Vaughn at first base batting fourth.
Oh.
Highest paid player in White Sox history, Andrew
Andrew
Benintendi batting
Benintendi.
fifth. Batting fifth. Batting sixth, Brian Ramos. Exactly. Batting
Okay.
seventh, Miguel Vargas, who
Nice.
I've
Shout out,
I've
Mickey.
never felt more bad for someone in my life.
Yep.
Number 8, the only glimmer of hope, and their top prospect, Colson Montgomery at short, and then Corey Lee catching. In their rotation, you can't name anybody on here except Martin Perez.
Who else is on there?
Jonathan Cannon, Davis
Oh,
Martin.
that's a great name.
It's a
Great
great
name.
dude. He's actually pretty decent. Like he's
Great name.
a small bright spot.
Perfect.
Davis Martin,
Great name.
Bryce
Davis Schneider?
Wilson, and Sean Burke. You can't name a single one of those motherfuckers.
That's bad.
Man.
Wasn't Bryce Wilson? No, I'm thinking Bryce Eldridge. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah. Oh, just quick shout out to
Can-
Mark Kotze getting extended.
Yes. Can we predict or can we take guesses on how Giancarlo Stanton blows out both his elbows?
It's tennis elbow
On both?
on both. Yeah. Oh my god.
He's drumming? Is that
Yeah.
I'm super curious as to how you blow out both elbows at the same time. Hasn't swung a bat in 3 to 4 weeks. Remember when we had the conversation about who can hit 25 homers on the Yankees?
Might just be one.
I don't think there's going to be anyone unless Judge stays healthy. Judge is the only one with a chance. It's fucked. Stan doing what he does best.
Again, I gotta find that Yankee projected opening day roster because I saw, if you see the image and go, they're one Judge injury away from fucking sucking ass. Like, hold up, where is it?
Yeah, they go from like division contender to like, ooh. Especially with the Stroman stuff going on too. It's already ugly in there. Love it.
Yeah. Speaking of ugly, Devin Williams is fucking
Also
face.
interesting to see how that ends up. The Stroman.
Yeah.
Like,
They're-
the
They're
Stroman
going
stuff.
to need him, right?
Yes. Carlos
Like-
Rodon is not the fucking picture of health. Like,
No.
Garrett Cole was just hurt like a lot last year.
Yeah.
Like,
I
they're
don't
gonna
even know
need
who
him.
else is in the rotation. Luis Heal's fine.
Clark Schmidt, Max Fried.
Clark Schmidt, Max Fried's never healthy too.
Yeah.
I guess the last couple of years.
Okay, so I found the Yankees opening day projection for their lineup, and when I read it to you, you tell me if take Judge out the lineup, what is this team? I'll put you leading off left field, Jason Dominguez.
Leading off.
Oh yeah, it's projections. Second, Aaron Judge. Third, Cody Bellinger. Fourth, Stanton. 5, Jazz Chisholm. 6, Paul Goldschmidt. Completely forgot that was a thing. 7, Austin Wells. 8, Anthony Volpe. 9, DJ LeMahieu.
Bad. They're bad.
That team's they're like a Judge. They're like a 2-week stretch without Judge from being terrible.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Do they
Also, they
really
don't
need
have
to not have Judge to not to be terrible?
no,
That sounded pretty fucking terrible.
like
Jazz can't stay hurt. DJ's a fucking China doll now and he sucks. Stanton is hurt.
Stan is
Yep.
hurt.
Goldie's 90.
Yep.
Bellinger, like,
Who knows?
Who knows?
Dominguez could be shit for all we know.
Sure.
Like,
Fucking Volpe also, it just is
Who
not
knows?
good.
Nope.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah, that's
Did
ugly.
the Yankees miss Gleyber Torres?
The lineup
Yes,
looks like it
he'd
might.
be hitting leadoff.
Yeah. Literally.
And you wouldn't be fucking playing DJ LeMahieu.
He might be second on the team in homers. If we're
Complete
being
side
honest.
note. I sent you guys that video, right?
Yeah, he looks way
Gleyber
better with
Torres
a
looks
beard.
way cooler now that
Way
he
better
has
with
a
a beard.
beard.
Way better with a beard.
Like
What a dumb rule.
he stole Devin Williams' beard.
Devin Williams took fucking promo pictures and he couldn't even get his beard fully shaved. It was still like there.
Oh, it's so
Tough
bad.
bounce. Such a dumb rule.
Even okay, it's weird now. You see Cody Bellinger, who you don't immediately think with a beard, but now that he doesn't have like
Looks weird.
stubble, it looks weird.
Max Fried. Max Fried has never had a beard, but without the bottom part of his beard, it's like he had the little fucking mustache with the little chin beard. Looks dumb.
I need to see what Nestor looks like with a beard.
With the that'd be kind of
because he's in Milwaukee.
Did you see the he did like a promo video? It was all AI, but like where he's like playing catch with the pitching machine.
Oh my god,
completely stupid. But watch it after; it's hilarious.
Yeah, like
yeah, I don't know, not good. Former Yankee, Frankie Montas.
Oh my god, he was
former Yankee.
Does it count since he didn't actually pitch for them?
He pitched in the playoffs, which was hilarious.
Oh, there you go.
Did he?
Sure.
Yeah, he was a reliever in the playoffs in like what was it 22? I think. Yeah.
This to me just highlights some inefficiencies in this team.
The Mets, you mean?
Because Frankie Montas is hurt.
He was like
so now you need Clay Holmes to be a starter.
Ooh,
yeah.
Clay Holmes, who is starting their exhibition game on Saturday. So,
okay,
good for him. But like, yeah, you need Clay Holmes to actually be a starter now.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a decent one of that, because it's it's Senga, Manaya, Holmes,
Peterson,
Miguel.
Thank you.
Like,
that doesn't inspire
confidence.
We
gotta be missing a name there, no?
Seriously, like I gotta look at this. Hold up.
No,
I swear they were a little better than that.
They had Severino last year.
They had Quintana.
And they had Quintana.
Yeah. There's no way.
We're not.
We gotta be missing somebody.
I hope.
We're not.
We're not. Manaya, yep. Senga, Peterson, Holmes, Paulie Punchouts, Griffin Canning.
Man, you're so third place. That's all I'm hearing. Like,
I still really like their lineup.
Oh, their lineup is great.
They're not better than Philly and Atlanta.
No, that's the issue. Like we argued on Philly and Atlanta, but like Philly and Atlanta have the lineup and the pitching. Whether
Atlanta, you could
whether
say this,
you like either one better than the other or not. Like
you can say this every year about Atlanta.
Pitching.
If they're healthy, they're damn near the best team in baseball.
Yes,
I don't know
about
that right now. I don't love the rotation.
I don't hate it.
Schwellenbach.
No, I don't hate it. But okay, Strider coming off TJ, and he's not going to start the year.
The precursor was fully healthy.
Fully healthy. Like they're.
Yes, I understand. I'm just saying going into this year.
Yeah.
Who knows what Sale is right now after this past injury? The young guys, they need somebody to make a step or two, which I think probably will happen, but you don't know. And I think losing Fried hurts.
A name that I haven't heard in 4 years is projected to make the opening day starting rotation. Ian Anderson.
Yeah. I think very underrated and was a huge part of their rotation is Charlie Morton too. Just 8 innings.
And another one, if I'm not mistaken, he was injured like a lot of last year. Kyle Wright. He's on the Royals now.
I mean, they got AJ Smith-Shawver.
Yeah,
he's going to fill a hole.
Their projection right now is Sale, Lopez, Schwellenbach, Holmes, and Anderson. So
to me, that's not great. And you don't know what
pretty sure Ronaldo Lopez was terrible last year in the second half.
He was great last year.
He was unreal in the first half. I know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like terrible in the second half. Because I remember when we were talking about this, I looked up Ronaldo Lopez and I'm like, oh, his numbers were way better at one point, and they were bad in the second half.
Yeah, and then, but if you look at the lineup, their projected opening day lineup doesn't have Acuna, and it's still disgusting.
Yeah, their lineup's gross.
Profar, Riley, Ozuna, Olsen, Albies, Harris, Murphy, Kelnick, Arcia. No Acuna.
So there's only one team in the NL East with an Acuna, and it's not the Braves.
Oh, they don't even have that guy anymore, so I can't do that.
Nope. Yeah, that's
all right. What last thing on here? Shout out Geraldo Perdomo getting an extension. for some reason.
Okay. I love that that's what we're ending with.
Like I didn't want to end it this way. It was just kind of the way that I wrote it, but he got a it starts in 2026 and it buys out up to 3 years of free agency for him. 4 years, 45 million. Like
Neat.
He's a good player. That's fair money. Like good about the. I think he's an above average glove.
yeah,
Like
he had a
why not?
3.5 WAR last year in like 70 games. So
Why not?
good for him.
We
But
can.
this also just brings the point that the fucking Diamondbacks have two other top prospect shortstops, and it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they don't have a third baseman, do they? I guess they have Eugenio.
Eugenio technically, but I also don't think they have I don't think they have a DH right now. So you could DH Suarez if you wanted.
Yeah, last year was Jock.
Jasher with Jock, and they basically replaced. Well, no, because they also lost Christian Walker, but they got Josh Naylor. Like,
You could kick Marte back out to the outfield. Like none of those guys have really earned a spot other than
I was gonna say you could stick Marte in
Carroll.
left. I was gonna say you could stick Marte in left maybe because I don't know if you want him playing center again.
Yeah,
Like,
but give Gurriel there. But he could DH.
yeah,
You know what?
Let's end with everyone's favorite dumpster fire. Mark Kotze got an extension with the
I
Athletics.
said this.
Oh, did you?
You
I
did
didn't hear
mention
that.
it.
Oh, okay, never
Yeah.
mind. I
We
was no
We
doubt for
can't
a
even
minute
end with.
then.
I do want to mention because we should be excited because like spring training game starts Saturday. We are 3 days away.
And the Jays are broadcasting every the Rod or Sportsnet's
A
broadcasting all
lot.
of them. Like it's
A
at least
lot.
all the home games. I know that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Don't they
It
usually
would
do
be
all the home games?
I
yes.
think.
They're getting a decent amount of away games too.
Oh.
They have a lot of games.
Also, sorry, again, we're not going to end on this. Find something else to talk about real quick. The Astros, despite not signing Alex Bregman, will still use Jose Altuve in left field.
It's crazy. Fucking crazy. Yeah, no, it sucks that the Vlad news happened now.
Yeah.
Because we should be so excited for this week. We are days away from getting baseball back, and it's depressing.
Is it just me or like have you guys seen all the videos we normally do of like all the bullpens and side sessions and everything? Like I've seen a couple, but
There's
not
nothing like
like
there's nothing
There's
crazy.
other things to talk about. I think.
Yeah.
no, but like I haven't seen many compared to
No,
like normal. Normally it's like
I've seen a lot of inter squad things. Like I've
Like
seen
the live BPs.
Barrios was throwing, yeah. Barrios was throwing a bunch. Bassett, I think, was throwing.
Yeah,
Francis was throwing.
gave up a tank to
maybe I
Bo.
just haven't been on Twitter enough.
Yeah. I saw Hoffman throw a pen. That was a video. I don't know who else though. Kirk's in the best shape of his life again, apparently.
Right on.
Oh,
Well, look out for Mr. Eloy Jimenez being a Blue Jay by the next podcast. Big deal. Big deal.
I hate that there's a
The
deal.
go all in move.
I hate that there's a you guys. We talked about a certain person. Like, remember how there's a deal that just came in from John Heyman, and I wouldn't bring this up
Huh?
unless it was somebody that we've talked about, not on the podcast, but in like our group chat.
Huh.
Lucas Sims.
We talked about Lucas Sims.
Yeah, because I brought the video up, and you were like, yeah, if he could, like,
because
I'd
he's
like
throwing
that.
98 now.
Yeah, he was the dude pumping 98, and now
Right.
he goes to the Nats for $3 million.
$3 million for that? Oh well, play baseball, kids.
Play the baseball, yeah. College
Let's end on Lucas Sims.
baseball also back, so that's fun.
College
Did you see the
baseball
guy?
has been
See the?
back.
Did you guys
And
see
in
the
it.
kid from Auburn that homered like hours after his mom died?
And
That was fantastic.
That was wild.
Great video.
Yeah.
I did
Play
not.
baseball, kids.
Also,
That was really cool.
MLB, college baseball and MLB the show.
There's only like 8 teams, but
I mean, you got to start somewhere. Like,
yeah, it's kind of cool. We'll take it.
what,
Yeah,
you wanted to go to fucking Kennesaw State
yeah.
to play baseball?
McCook Community
You're
College.
going to Omaha with Kennesaw State.
Why not?
All right, let's get out of here before Nate has an aneurysm.
We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.